"We're renovating your office for the new employee," my wife's sister said, stepping into my doorway with decorators trailing behind her like vultures, the smell of fresh paint mixed with the cold bite of authority. I had spent 13 years at this company, 13 years of long hours, muted ambitions, and $2,500 a month while others took home triple. Where am I supposed to work? My voice sounded small, foreign even to me. She shrugged, the kind of shrug that carried the weight of indifference and privilege. "Figure it out. The basement looks nice." I nodded, clearing my desk that morning as if obedience could dull the sting. My hands moved methodically, stacking papers, boxing trinkets, memories of silent labor. I smiled at nothing. Next day, the call came. The company's biggest investor. Her face went pale when she realized I wasn't in my usual office. Her eyes darted to the phone in her hand, panic blooming like a sudden frost. I stayed quiet, let her panic unfold. She had underestimated me. I spent that afternoon in the basement, staring at the cracked cement walls, listening to the hum of fluorescent lights. Shock had a taste, metallic, bitter. 13 years of loyalty, dismissed like yesterday's newspaper. My mind replayed every slight, every whispered excuse she'd offered over the years. I remembered the meetings where she subtly discredited me, the bonuses others got while I budgeted to scrape by, the way she lingered just long enough in my personal life to know, but never to care. Then I saw it. A small detail, almost meaningless, a personal email opened on her tablet, addressed to someone not my wife, someone in her office. My stomach tightened. Betrayal. Not the casual kind, but the structural, emotional kind that rearranges everything in your chest. I walked through my mind like a detective through a crime scene. Every smile she'd given me, every compliment, every instruction. Was it manipulation or indifference? Could both exist at once? I didn't ask. I observed. Over the next week, I moved quietly, surgically. Phone records, emails, lunch orders, credit card statements. I watched patterns unfold like a map leading directly to the truth. Every laugh she shared at work, every call she made in hushed tones, it all started connecting. Externally, I was calm. I smiled at meetings. I nodded at her instructions. I brewed coffee, ran errands, and made small talk that carried no warmth. Internally, every detail was filed, every lie catalogued. I traced whispers, mapped timelines, calculated odds. My anger was precise, not hot, but cold and exacting. I watched the decorators finish their work, the office reborn for someone else. I touched the polished wood of my desk one last time, remembering the hours I'd spent there, imagining her smiling as she counted my absence as victory. I didn't rush. The truth doesn't demand haste. The DNA test arrived in a plain envelope. No logos, no fanfare, just the truth. I opened it slowly, numbers and letters confirming what my instincts had already whispered. I called her into my new, cramped workspace. She walked in with that casual authority, expecting compliance, expecting fear. "Here," I said, placing the report on the desk. My fingers barely trembled. Her smile faltered, a shadow crossing her face. What is this?" I leaned back, folding my hands. "I think you know, but it's always better to see it in black and white." Her voice wavered. I, I, I didn't let her finish. I watched as her control slipped, the calculated facade cracking. The queen of manipulation, exposed. She swallowed, trying to fabricate excuses. I didn't flinch. I didn't speak. The silence was a blade. The next move had to be strategic. I didn't yell. I didn't strike. I let the world bend under the truth. I forwarded the report to the investor who had called the previous day, blind copying the board. Not a word to her about my actions, no threats, no confrontation beyond the data itself. By the time she realized, the damage was systemic. Her authority questioned. Her credibility shattered. She stared at me, eyes wide, searching for anger, for retaliation. I gave her none. I gave her truth. Cold, undeniable, silent. I watched her crumble behind her carefully constructed persona. I watched her try to salvage herself and fail. Every manipulative maneuver she had used for years turned inward. I didn't need satisfaction. I didn't need apologies. I had control, and that was enough. Later, I walked out of the office, the basement door closing behind me with a hollow finality. My hands were clean, my conscience clear. I didn't glance back, not because I didn't care, but because caring now would ruin the symmetry of it. Years of quiet loyalty had been repaid with treachery, and now the truth had repaid her. I felt nothing. No triumph, no relief, just clarity. The office above, the buzz of decorators, the whispers of colleagues. They were irrelevant. My reality was composed of the truth, and the fact that I had orchestrated its revelation without losing myself. I walked away knowing I would never need her approval again, knowing the world saw her as she truly was, stripped of pretense, while I remained unseen, untouchable. There's a strange peace in detachment, in control, in knowing that the betrayal that once cut deep now only serves as evidence of my own foresight. I didn't look back. I never do. And somewhere in that shattered office, she understood. I had already won.